was a penalty. I think Ronaldo knew that the full back was trying to get back in position, Sanusi, and he just bumped into him. His momentum took him towards him, the full back, towards Ronaldo, but I think Ronaldo was already going to ground before the player. So it wasn't a penalty.
The bold Cristiano begs to differ, though, Niall.
You sure will.
What do you think?
Yeah, it was a wonderful touch, wasn't it? I don't know why he didn't stay up, because I would imagine he would have got himself on for a left-footed shot, and he felt contact coming, and that's what he does. He looks for penalties, but fair play to Sanusi. I think he held his hands out, he stood up tall, and the referee saw, and that from that movement that Ronaldo was looking for it, and he waved it away and didn't want to go and have a look. Interesting.
Seen them given, I think, is what he's trying to say there to Oliveira. Right, let's just check in, by the way, on the other game, which has just finished in Sevilla, the other last 16 first leg. That's Dortmund's coach there. He's a happy man because Haaland, in the middle of your picture, Erling Braut Haaland, the age of Haaland and Mbappe, has it started? What Mbappe did last night, well, Haaland only managed 2 this evening for Dortmund. But Luke de Jong pulled one back in the second half there for Sevilla, as you can see. So 3-2, that one finished. That one very much alive for the second leg. And this one too, Brian, very much alive for the second leg, thanks to that crucial goal from Chiesa.
Oh yeah, it's a lifeline for Juventus. Didn't play well tonight, didn't function well in any part of the pitch, the back, the middle or up front. Morata made a difference when he come on. Ramsey actually made a difference too when he come on, and that goal gives him something. It means that a 1-0 win at home would be enough for them, whereas when they went out to Lyon last year, they were 1-0 down in the first leg, conceded the penalty in the first half and struggled to retrieve a situation, a team they would have expected to beat. This gives them a chance, but they've got to play better. Porto played above themselves, I think, tonight, but they have gained a lot of confidence from that, and they were compact, disciplined and organised. I felt for about 70-75 minutes. Then they lost their shape a little bit, and their changes didn't help them.
It could be crucial, couldn't it, those last few moments of that game. Brian, before the match, I asked you where you ranked Juventus, and you said they were in your top group of contenders for the Champions League title this season. That first 70 minutes anyway, were they well off that? Can you defend your position based on that?
They were well off it tonight, but they're still in this tie because they scored a goal, and they have a second leg to play at home. Doesn't make that much difference that it's home at the moment without any crowds, but they've given themselves a reasonable opportunity. Whether Porto can produce a performance as good as they did tonight remains debatable, because they're certainly not in my top 6, although they played well tonight. I mean, if you ask me who my top 6 are, it was a kind of a random one, but I would put the 3 English teams, Manchester City, Liverpool and Chelsea, in that, with Bayern Munich obviously, and it's easy to include Juventus then and make 5. I'm not sure how my 6th one is. I've no obvious contender after that, because
PSG.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, of course, PSG, but you're writing off the Spanish team at the moment. Looking at,
would you compare PSG's performance last night to Juventus, what we saw this evening?
In terms of what I mean, PSG's performance was far superior to Juventus on the night, but they were playing a very weak Barcelona team. That's not a great measure to say, well, PSG are superb suddenly because they beat Barcelona 4-1 last night. I thought Barcelona were so poor and so weak in all its sense.
But you're also saying Porto are no top side either.
No, they're not. By tradition, they usually go out at this stage. They're not usually in the running as it goes on in this competition. They're a seller of players. If they've anyone decent, they're picked off. It's long gone since the days of Marino scrapping it out with teams and winning the UEFA Cup and the Champions League, which they did over a couple of seasons. They're far, far behind that level now. I mean, they're struggling in their own league, behind Sporting Lisbon, 10 points behind. But they've played well tonight. But Juventus are better than they show tonight, right. But they weren't very good, but they're surely better. The manager can get more from them than how they played tonight. They were very, very disappointing. I'm saying there was no area of the pitch they played well. Goalkeeper, back four, nothing. Midfield, little bits and pieces. Jerry thought Chiesa played very well and was their best player. It was easy enough to be their best player. I'd say they were brutal tonight, but they got away with it.
Well, Brian's not putting up much of a defence of their Champions League credentials then Niall. Is he right to do so?
vital goal, really, really important goal, set at half-time. They need a goal. And a bad performance, if you're going to play really bad, to get that away goal is the silver lining on the night, and that gives them hope that they can get better. The two subs did great. I thought, Morata and Ramsey when they came on, but you begs the question about Morata, why wasn't he on from the start? Because I thought he had a real influence. And it coincided with the Porto players after 75 minutes getting tired. They didn't have the legs. They didn't bring on subs at that point. I thought Pirlo got it right at that particular time in the game to put players in. Conceição left it later, and so they got themselves a lifeline in the game, but lots to improve on if they're to start being serious about putting a challenge in for this competition. And I'd be different, Brian. I think PSG, no matter who they played last night, they'd have been brilliant.
Let's have a look at the first goal. And Niall mentioned Conceição and Pirlo. And did Conceição kind of school the less experienced coach in those early stages with the way he had his team set up?
I think he did his own job for his own team. You could say Pirlo didn't get the best out of his side. It wasn't a match between the two managers, but certainly, they had a plan, a game plan. We see this right from the off. Very unusual circumstance, a goal in the first minute. The ball back, as we see, wasn't a good ball, but I didn't think Chiesa did much for him. When he played it to him, Chiesa should have moved to his left as well after he plays it out to Bentancur here. Look, he stays in the muck in the middle of the goal to the right-hand post, and it gave a little angle for Taremi to cut him off. And he was right from the kick-off at the start of the second half. Pepe is up there, so this is the reply practiced on the training ground.
From the
Pepe,
80s.
Yeah, it's an old style
Crazy
one there. We would have often used that one, but not with the centre half being in the line to get up there. So to win the ball back here, there's a lovely little succession of quick passes, but the two centre midfield players for Juventus, Rabiot and Bentancur, look, no real urgency. Loads of players, 3, 6, 7 of them there against 3. And Marega gets the ball from the full-back on that side, who played very well. Manafa is able to pick him out. One touch was left foot, and then he sticks it in with his left foot.
He did great. I was thrilled he got that goal, because I was watching him all night. He worked his socks off. He came back. He ran forward when he had to run forward. He held it up. He tackled. He was a nuisance, and he got his rewards, because it was a difficult enough chance. He was at pace. It came to him. He sorted his feet out and he slotted it away. And it was just an amazing moment. You think, wow, Juventus are in big trouble now. It couldn't have been worse.
Is that a bad sign to lose goals so early in halves in terms of how you're mentally prepared for the game?
I think so, because when you look at the two players that Brian mentioned there, Rabiot and Bentancur, they were just trotting back a few seconds after the game is restarted.
No panic in their run,
no
was
panic.
there?
They were just trotting back. And
it is a bad sign, Tommy, to lose a goal in the first minute of the start of the match and the one to start the second half. It's a very, very strange thing. It does sound, we'll be doing Manchester United tomorrow night. We might discuss that aspect of their game. They've been losing a lot of goals early in the games, and it takes a lot to get back into matches. I often say the best time you can see the goals in the first minute of the match, but not the first minute of the second half, because now you're running out of time to retrieve the situation. They managed to do it twice.
But talking about Pirlo, it doesn't say much for the coach that after leaving his instructions, they go and concede goals.
Yeah, but Pirlo can say what he likes in the dressing room. The players have got to go out and do it.
OK, let's have a look then, Brian, at what is good defending by Porto for most of that game, 70-odd minutes, we'll say, of it, and then counter-attacking moves, very well organised, had a game plan, and it was working really well for them.
Yeah, and we said it before the game, they'd have to defend well against Ronaldo. I thought Morata would be his partner. Kulusevski seemed to be the one. But look, reading of the game, and Mbemba, very good. I pointed him out before the match. His concentration level's very good. Gets help here from Oliveira back in. But you see the work rate of everyone, as Noel pointed out. Marega is back within 30 yards of goal. Here he is making the challenge, Marega, and putting off Juventus player trying to. Here Pepe reads the situation, comes over, makes the challenge, forces the young player Kulusevski into a mistake. Ball cut back out of the box. Marega's hanging around. They've always got the numbers there. Look at the unit, the whole team, 4-4-2, within 30 yards of their own goal. Marega tidies her up again. It was very effective, and Juventus were running out of ideas. Long ball into the penalty area. That continued early into the second half. Niall, was no change, and they looked very comfortable. Yeah,
and you just thought, would they hold out? And as soon as the subs came on, obviously we found out, and gaps started to appear. Good defending there. That was the first sort of good effort, I would have thought, that Juventus put together. But as time went on, you saw the weariness.
Taking a toll on them.
You could just see them getting a bit leggy and dropping off, and the attempt to get the ball back in numbers.
There's a big space, Niall. We didn't see that in the first hour of the game.
There.
This is 73 minutes in.
Yeah,
but they did recover it.
They do recover, and you think that this is it now. They were really on the opposite. That was 73 minutes. That was the last real good attack they had.
Let's have a look at the goal then. And is it a case of that the changes worked, or to what degree is it a case of the changes working?
Well, there was legs and there was runners, and Rabiot decides to go on a run here. There's space, as Brian was mentioning there, and they're just a little bit leggy. Normally they'd have had two players out there. They'd have had cover out the back, but if you look when it comes to the far post, Chiesa comes in unmarked. You know, they're just a little bit disorganised, trying to work out what's happening. It comes out to him. He hits the ball into the ground, and it's very unusual style. They used to call that the Barnes-Wallace effect in my day, the old bouncing bomb. Yeah, again, you see the gaps appear. Now, I'm really surprised Chiesa didn't go for it himself when it went out on that far side and tried to hit it first time. He decided to go back to Ronaldo, but you can't. They're now at 6s and 7s.
We weren't seeing this kind of space, Brian.
No, the compactness has gone out of the team. Particularly the wide players aren't getting back as they were in the first half. And here's the big moment very late in the game. And you know, I give the benefit of the doubt to Sanusi there. I don't think he makes any attempt to. Doesn't stick his foot out to stop. He's
in his stride, you know. I think he does touch it with his toes onto the foot of Ronaldo, but not enough. There was no intent to knock him over, and it took too long. By the time it's easier to say that in slow motion, but in real time, I felt Ronaldo had made the touch, great touch back, and by the time he went down, a lot happened.
Yeah, already very interesting second leg.